What is up, you guys? I'm back. Welcome back to my channel. I have another book review. So I just posted a book review for One of Us is Lying. So if you haven't seen that, go and check it out. That was a really good book. This book review is on She Means Well by Quinta Brunson, and I am excited to talk about this book. I love Quinta Brunson. I feel like I love Quinta Brunson for the reason that most millennials love Quinta Brunson, the she got money. But then to watch a star like that, or an internet star like that, really have their time to shine in the spotlight, honey, and to just have the positive success that she has had too, right? And yeah, like the positive success, like Emmy Award winner now, looking fabulous. Like, kudos to Quinta Brunson. So I'm a little late to this book. I want to say she released it last year, so I am behind the times, girl. I apologize, but I'm still gonna give you my couple 2 cents that I have about it. I have some assistants with me today. I'm on Thanksgiving break. If you didn't know, I'm on Thanksgiving break, which is why I've cranked out 2 videos. I'm also listening to The Final Gambit. Girl, I don't think I'm gonna like it, but we can talk about that for that video. I have some hot cocoa here with some Baileys. Girl, you can't even taste it, and I poured a lot in there. Anyway, Quinta Brunson soothes my millennial soul, okay? Like, there is something about her that's like, yep, that was my childhood. Exactly. That's exactly how that went. Absolutely. And her, not only her being a millennial, but her being a Black urban millennial. Like, it's nothing like seeing your people represented, okay? And like everything about her Black millennial experience, it just touched my soul, even though, my life is nothing like Quinta Brunson's. So for one, I didn't even realize, I don't know why it didn't click in my head that she is such a huge comedy fan. Like, her whole childhood and, dreams in LA were to be a comedian, a successful comedian, and exploring different avenues of comedy, to the point that all those skits that we fell in love with as, Instagrammers, Viners, TikTokers, whatever. Not TikTokers, girl. I don't have TikTok. I'm grown. But all those things, like, was her way of exploring comedy, right? And I don't know why that never clicked in my head that she is a comedy buff or a comedian. Like, I don't know what in my mind she was, like internet personality turned actress. Like, I don't know what I thought she was, but I will, from this point on, address you as your preferred salutation, which is a comedian. So that was interesting. So I also found it very interesting when she was talking about her time at BuzzFeed, because I, like many millennials, loved, I don't know what's going on with BuzzFeed now, but I loved BuzzFeed. The videos that would pop up on my Facebook. And it's funny because I still have a video of Quinta saved on Facebook. I can even tell you the skit. They're talking about coffee, and they're taste testing coffee to see who has the best coffee. And like, they go through, like, I want to say Panera, Starbucks, Burger King, 7-Eleven. They go through different chains, Dunkin', and Quinta basically doesn't like any of them. And then she's like, this is just what coffee tastes like without cream and sugar, dirt. And I promise you, here we are in 2022, and I can remember that line. And I promise you that was at least 7 years ago. But yeah, her experience at BuzzFeed, I feel like, was really eye-opening. Mild spoilers, but even if me giving you mild spoilers, she's going to tell the story better, girl. Just listen to the book. I listen to it. She reads it. Anyway, it says that it's an Audible special, but I didn't try to get it on Overdrive. I did buy this one. I used the Audible credit, so maybe it is just on Audible. But I thought it was interesting that BuzzFeed felt like at the time she was too popular to want to work there. So like she had just gotten her like in her Instagram comedy bag with the She Got Money videos and some other skits, and they didn't understand why she wanted to be part of the BuzzFeed culture. And it's interesting because she attributes a lot of her success, or some of her success, to her time working at BuzzFeed, creating videos and content. And I thought that was very interesting. And I will say that like she describes like the work area at BuzzFeed, and I was like, yeah, that's cute. I see why you were drawn in by the open seating plan and, you know, whatever else, girl. Yeah. So that was interesting. And so the book was written or released in 2021. So I imagine that most of the writing, the book was probably what, 2020, 19, 18, right? Because she said she was working on the book for 3 years. And I make that point to say she doesn't talk about Abbott Elementary a lot. She briefly touches on it at the end. I think my neighbor's about to let out their dog, and she always barks. Maybe she won't. They briefly talk about it at the end, and she basically talks about securing different actors. She talks about securing different actors for the show, and that part was really enlightening and cool. So she goes through this one experience. So she worked for the Apple Store in Philly, and she worked for the Apple Store in LA when she was making her transition to living in LA. And I love that she didn't describe, because she quits working at the Apple Store in LA to pursue comedy, which was her dream. But eventually she runs out of money and she has to go back to Apple. And I love that she didn't describe that necessarily as a failure. You know what I mean? She more so detailed it as lessons learned. And then when she did leave Apple for the second time, that was it. I like that she didn't view it as a failure. So then she also talks a lot about her life loves. Or she says people have 3 major loves of their lives. And then she talks about some. The first love of her life seemed like trash. He just seems really awful to her. I think she said they're still friends, but you know, whatever. He seemed like trash girl. But she says that the second guy ended up breaking up with her because he wanted her. He felt like he was holding her back from her dreams. And honey, more of us need people like that to wake us up and tell us that they are a hindrance and to step out of the way. And it's interesting because I've been seeing messaging like that a lot recently, but it's been about work. It hasn't been about love. It's been about like Elon Musk posted this cocky whatever memo that he sent around to his office, and he basically said, if you feel like you're not contributing to the meeting, get out of the meeting. Don't take up space at the meeting. And I found that really interesting, to work with intention at work. And it's interesting that someone that she was in love with had that same energy, and it was like, well, what are we doing here if you're eventually moving to LA to pursue comedy? And you know, I'm not I'm not doing that. So I thought that was very interesting indeed. Then I also found interesting, and I can already hear y'all complaining to me about this, I find it interesting that she did not end up with a person of color. And I don't mean that in a hating way, girl. I don't. I just find it interesting that so many successful Black women don't, you know, and that's okay. And then like she even, you know, touches on conversations that she had in the relationship around George Floyd, and then something else when her cousin was lost to gun violence. And like they're tough conversations to have when you're not with a fellow minority that just understands, right? But they're not impossible conversations to have. So I thought that was really interesting that that is the way that she went in her love life. But I also love that she, when she's talking about her great life loves, she doesn't mention this dude that she's with, that who is now her husband, at all. She mentions that her final love is comedy. And I think that is important because I feel like we sometimes put so much value on another person for our happiness when in reality there are other things that can bring us passion, right? Like, so for me, I could say my love of my life is reading books and writing when I get off my butt to do so. Or plants, like those are my great loves, right? And it takes that element of being dependent on another person out of this, completely out of the situation. And I thought that was really cool that she had that insight. Good for you, baby, because I ain't got it. I did not have that insight. Another thing I liked that she touches on, that there are times in her childhood or her life where she didn't, or she wasn't in the popular thought process, so to speak. So like there was a movie she liked in her childhood, everybody else didn't like it, she loved it. And there was a show that she liked with her family, or she wanted her family to also check out, and they didn't like it. And she didn't let that discourage her love for those things. She still found a way to enjoy them. And I thought that was really profound because, again, at that age, I think I would have liked it still, but I would have felt a sense of shame. But she seemed to have been able to power through that and be like, oh no, this is just something that's just for me. And that's an interesting clarity to have at a young age. But yeah, overall, the book is great. I mean, if you don't know, Quinta Brunson is great. Definitely look up her work if you haven't seen it already. Check her out. I definitely would give the book a 4 out of 5 stars. As far as memoirs go, on a scale of Will Smith's being a 10 with a lot of information, Tamara's book being a 1 with very little information, I would say Quinta Brunson is about a 7. Because there's some things that she's still really cagey about, and you know, that's okay. But I would definitely give the book a 4 out of 5 stars. It was a good read or listen for me. I listened to it on Audible. She reads it. You can't go wrong with that. The title is catchy. She memes well. Quinta Brunson is a meme because, you know, people be gay. And if you don't get that reference, look it up. Okay? But yeah, that's all I have to say. Watch this video. Run the watch time up, girl. I need my watch time to go up. Like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel, tell your friends to subscribe to my channel. You know, we're trying to do big things over here. You know, thumbs up for my background that I set up for y'all today. These books and the candle, the ambiance candle that I'm serving right now, honey. Bye.